Hi guys, welcome to the Rusty Beauty's garage. Look, early Christmas again. Well, hold on. Okay. You remember guys when I showed you my new welder from Arccaptain that they sent me for review? Well, that welder became my permanent welder now. I use it all the time. So when Arccaptain contacted me again and they said, you want to try our new plasma cutter? I said, sure. I didn't think twice because judging by the welder that I use all the time now, I'm pretty sure this is a pretty good machine. And they also sent me this welding helmet. But first let's open everything and see what we have. This actually, I checked some reviews and it's an interesting machine. Connects to your phone so you can do the settings from your phone. So let's see how fancy that is. Now here is the place to say that I'm not really familiar with plasma cutters. I actually used one of the cheap ones before when I was working on limousines. And actually it wasn't bad. But I was never able to set it up properly to make nice and clean cuts. But here I want to try now and make clean cuts through even thicker metal, not just sheet metal. So here it is. So it is an Arccaptain CUT55Pro. As far as I know, there's a CUT55 and CUT55Pro. And the difference, as far as I know, is the mobile phone connection and all that. So it comes with a manual, 2 box stickers. We got more before with the welder as well. Here's the Arccaptain information. To be honest, I'm gonna have to spend some time with the manual without you before I start showing you all the functions. But let's first have a first glance on it. So what do we see first? It can use 110 plug and 220, which is great. Not everybody has 220 in their garage, or sometimes you need to do a job on a driveway where you don't have access to 220. A ground strap. Now the actual torch, gas hooks up here, gas, or I don't know what it is called in this case. We use compressed air, which is still gas, I guess. Okay, and then I'm assuming this hooks up here. Let's first connect it and then read the menu. I know. Okay, and whatever this is, it can only plug in one way, which is this way. Like I said, I'm not a pro with plasma cutters, so don't expect me to give you professional terms and all that. I'm just a newbie and I want to see how easy it is to start using it without any professional training. So here is the cup. I guess here we have different sizes. I'm not gonna start using it before I read the manual, don't worry. Here, I like that the trigger has protection. So you have to lift the trigger and then do that. Also has a strap, so you can strap it here and put it on your shoulder. Sometimes if you have a long line somewhere, and this is a bag, you can put it in a bag and take it to a job site. And that, I'm assuming, is the hose for compressed air. But it doesn't come with the other end, so we need to find one. All right, it's been a few days and I read the manual kind of, and I watched some videos kind of, just to educate myself a little bit. So I watched a few videos and I realized that there's lots to learn about plasma cutting, even though it looks easy and there's not many settings that you can play with. Well, there are actually, even though there's only one knob here that you can turn up and down, and that's your amperage. There's also another setting which is your air pressure. And depending on the thickness of the metal, you have to increase or reduce the air pressure, supposedly. And also there's one very important setting that is not on the machine, it's actually your hand, your speed of travel. That's also a very important setting apparently. But again, I'm a newbie, so I'm gonna make mistakes. So here's a disclaimer for you. This is not educational video. This is not how to use a plasma cutter. This is me experimenting with this machine. So let's see how beginner friendly it is. The welder by Arccaptain that I've shown videos about before, it was super beginner friendly and very easy to use. So I'm assuming that these machines should be the same. And I'm not gonna lie, I used it a few times on this frame repair here that I'm doing. I needed to do that so I can practice a little bit. Did I learn anything? Not a lot, because the frame is made out of 16 gauge sheet metal. So again, I didn't cut anything thicker than that. But what amazes me is that the pilot arc is amazing. I mean, it goes through rust, it goes through paint. You don't need to touch in order to start the arc. It just starts automatically. The plasma cutter that I used years ago, I was having lots of troubles with that because I had to touch the surface and I was like welding the tip all the time. Anyway, so let's plug it in and do some tests here. The air pressure, right now it's set to 30, 40, 50, 60, so that's 45. That's where we're gonna keep it for now. I'm gonna be experimenting. Power, so like I said, it can be used with 220, gives you a little bit higher amperage, but if you don't have 220, it comes with this adapter where you can plug it in here, and now you can plug it into 110. But I have 220, so I'm gonna plug it into 220. So we can cut thicker metal. Okay. I'm gonna move it here so it's out of the way and we can turn it on. Now we need ground. Let's do that here. So the torch had this guide. I don't know what you should call it, probably guide, but I removed it because I had to go into some corners and that made it easier for me. I'm gonna bring my gloves and my welding helmet. I'm gonna adjust it to lower darkness so it doesn't go too dark. And let's start with some sheet metal. So this is 80 thou. You figure out what gauge that is. It is painted on one side. You know what? Let's see if it is gonna start cutting through the paint. I'm gonna reduce the amperage. Now it is 40. Let's start with, I don't know, 25 amp. And I'm curious to see if the arc is gonna start through the paint. Absolutely no problem. Okay, it has post flow, which I'm forgetting about, but let's take a look at this now. So this is the kind of cut with 25. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it at 35 right now, just so I can see what the difference is. Okay, again, I'm forgetting about the post flow. Same thing, nice and clean cut, but who cares about sheet metal? Let's start with something thicker. So this is 120 thou, so that's 1/8. I don't think we need to be that high. Let's go back to 25. The air pressure is 45. I keep forgetting about the post flow. Maybe I should move a little bit faster. Okay, let's try moving a little bit faster. Okay, I'm creating too much of this burr, whatever that is called. So I'm gonna reduce a little bit the pressure. Let's go down to 30. And I'm gonna try again. I'm not sure if I have to increase it or reduce it. I'm just experimenting. Okay, with lower air pressure, I'm creating more of that. Oh no, actually it's better, looks like. Okay, let's move on to something thicker. Well, that's the same pretty much. Okay, let's cut this. Okay, I'm gonna go higher pressure. That is 60. Let's see what's gonna happen with 60. Okay, definitely the higher pressure works better. Okay, that's not a bad cut. Again, it's me. My skills are not great. It's not the machine. Let's try something thicker now. That's 150 thou. Wow, that was a pretty good cut. I'll bring you closer because I'm proud of this cut. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful cut? So once you figure out how to do it, not that I figured, I guessed, but it is a great, nice and clean cut. So it is a matter of a user, not of the machine. The machine does great. Okay, another test. You know what? I'm gonna put the machine next to me so you can see the settings, I guess. Can you guess what the next test is? How thick is that? Oops. This is 370 thou. That's like 5/16. Let's see if we can cut that. I'm gonna give it a little bit more power. Let's say 45. We're gonna leave the pressure as is. Let's try 50. Does it need more air? Okay, that is 70 psi. Wow. Oh, look at that. I like it. All right, this is fun. So let's try something else now. This is aluminum. They say that as long as it's conductive, it's gonna cut it. So let's see. That's pretty thin aluminum, so we're gonna reduce it. That's like 1/8 of an inch, I guess. And we're gonna reduce the air pressure. Looks like I'm too fast. Okay, let's try that again slower. Yeah, not bad. I mean, it works. How about thicker aluminum though? I have this piece that's like, what is this? Let's see. 475 thou. I don't know if there's difference between steel and aluminum, but I'm gonna increase it just like for the steel. Let's first try here, this thinner area. Okay, let's try the thicker one. Okay. Well, looks good. But this cut, this is the one that impressed me the most, because look how clean that is. Oh well, so that looks like a great little machine. I remember when the plasma cutters used to be like huge, and now look, this is like, I don't know, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, something like that. It's, I'm super happy with it. Now, I already said that I'm not a plasma cutter specialist. About the welder, I used many different welders, and I can tell you that the welder was a great option for me. I can tell from experience. This one, I don't have any experience, but you can see that with a little bit of tweaking here and there, playing a little bit with the pressure, playing a little bit with the amperage, with the speed, and you can make fantastic cuts even on this thick metal that was like 5/16 or something like that. I'm sure it can cut thicker. I just don't have anything thicker here, but I'm sure it can cut even more than that. All right, and one more thing that we haven't discussed yet is the Bluetooth connectivity to a cell phone, but I'm using my cell phone for a camera, so you are in it. That's why I installed it on this very old iPad, the app I mean. So the app is called Arccaptain, and when you open it, you have to create an account and log in, etc., etc. But once you're logged in, it asks you for device. You want to connect to a device, so click to connect to device, and it's searching the machine. I haven't touched anything there, so it should find it automatically. There you go, CUT55Pro 97, connect. This is a very old iPad, so it might have a little bit of trouble. Oh, you know what? Maybe because it's connected to my phone. Okay, I disconnected it from my phone. Maybe that's the problem. Let's see now. There you go. Now it connected right away. Can I? Okay, make it bigger. So what we can adjust here is the machine has two adjustments, basically. It has the amperage. Right now it goes up to 35 amps only because it's connected to 110, but when we had it connected to 220, it was going to 55 amp. Now the maximum is 35, but anyway. And the other thing that you can change here on the machine is 2T and 4T. That's the trigger. In 2T, you press the trigger and you have to hold it so you can cut, and when you let go, it turns off. In 4T mode, you press it and it starts cutting, then you let go and it continues cutting until you press and release again. That's when it's going to stop cutting. So that's the only difference between 2T and 4T. 4T is for long lines, so you don't need to hold the trigger all the time. So these are the two adjustments here on the machine, and you can control them both from here. Actually, there's a third one that I can show you. What do we do here now? Okay, cut. I don't know how to work that. Cut. It asks me to confirm that the ground and everything is hooked up. Confirm. Okay, and here are my adjustments. So cutting current right now it shows 34. If we open it up, we can reduce it to 26, and it reduces it there as well. So that's how we adjust the current. The other thing is we can play between 2T and 4T. Right now we put it in 2T. Now it is in 4T. And the third thing, that's important, you can adjust the post-flow time. So 1 second, let's see. There you go, that's 1 second. And we can do it up to 15 seconds. Oh, it went back. Okay. 15 seconds, let's see. Okay, so that's one adjustment, the post-flow, that you can't do from the machine. Seriously. So this is the only setting that you can't actually adjust from the machine. You need to hook it up to a Bluetooth device. So I'm gonna put it back to 8 seconds, and that's it. Leave it in 2T and put it at 29 amps. So that brings this machine to a totally different era. You know, I've never connected my welding equipment or cutting equipment to my phone. Anyways, so that's it. And why would you want to control the settings from your phone, you would ask? It's stupid. Well, it's not really, because if you are on a ladder somewhere and the machine is down there and you need a little bit more amperage, you don't want to climb the ladder down. Maybe you can call your wife, but if the wife is away, you know. This way, you have the torch up there, and believe me, this is pretty long, so you can be on a ladder. If you need a little bit more juice, then you take out your phone, you adjust it, and you continue cutting. So that's why I'm assuming it's gonna come handy at some point. But anyways, so before I let you go, I just wanna tell you that right now, because of the holidays, there's a big Christmas sale on the Arccaptain website. I think the sale starts on December 15th, so keep an eye on that. But also at the checkout, when you're ready to pay, if you use the coupon Rusty Beauties, that's gonna give you another 5% discount. And also Arccaptain are gonna reward me a little bit. That's how we can help each other. You can help me, I can help you. We all help Arccaptain are helping us. It's a nice partnership. So anyways, now I can let you go. that's gonna be everything for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and again, I highly recommend this plasma cutter. I'm not biased because they gave it to me for free. Believe me, there's lots of free stuff that they're trying to push on me, all kinds of different companies. And I took some stuff to test, like a leaf blower. Somebody sent me a leaf blower and said, can you make a review video? And I said, sure. And I went and I tested it, and it was a piece of crap. And I emailed the guy and I said, are you really sure that you want me to post a video about your leaf blower? It's not gonna be a nice video. And then he says, you know what, never mind. Anyway, I only take stuff that I really need in the first place. I wouldn't take a heated blanket, for example, or things like that. And I do only honest reviews. So that's one of my conditions when I accept to make a review of a product. I warn them, I'm gonna make a very honest review. So if your product is not good, I'm gonna tell that to my viewers. I'm not gonna lie to them. So anyway, believe me or don't, I like the machine. And if you're one of my regular viewers, you're gonna see me using it in my project. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.